In the small, quiet town of Ravenswood, whispers of a sinister presence began to spread among the locals. For years, women had mysteriously vanished without a trace, leaving behind only broken-hearted families and a pervasive sense of dread. The townspeople spoke in hushed tones about the silent hunter, a shadowy figure who prowled the streets at night, searching for his next victim. The silent hunter was once known as Jonathan Grimes, a seemingly ordinary man with a dark and twisted secret. By day, he blended seamlessly into the community, working as a mechanic and helping his neighbors. But as night fell, his true nature emerged. Driven by a deep-seated hatred for women, he embarked on a terrifying spree of abductions and torture. Jonathan's home, a decrepit and isolated house on the outskirts of town, was a place of unimaginable horror. Inside, he had constructed a labyrinth of hidden rooms and soundproof chambers. The basement, a dark and damp place, was where his sinister activities took place. Chains hung from the ceiling, and the walls were lined with gruesome tools of torture. One fateful night, Emily, a young woman new to Ravenswood, found herself walking home alone after a late shift at the local diner. Unbeknownst to her, Jonathan had been watching her for weeks, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. As she walked through a deserted alley, a hand clamped over her mouth, and everything went black. Emily awoke in a cold, dark room, her hands and feet bound by heavy chains. Panic set in as she realized the gravity of her situation. Jonathan's voice, cold and devoid of emotion, echoed through the room as he taunted her. "No one can hear you scream here," he whispered, a sinister grin spreading across his face. Days turned into weeks as Emily endured unspeakable torment at the hands of her captor. Jonathan derived sick pleasure from her suffering, meticulously planning each session of torture. He took great care to ensure she remained alive, savoring every moment of her agony. Despite the overwhelming fear and pain, Emily refused to let him break her spirit. Meanwhile, the people of Ravenswood were growing increasingly desperate. The police had no leads, and the disappearances continued unabated. Fear gripped the town as everyone wondered who would be next. Emily's family, devastated by her disappearance, refused to give up hope. They organized search parties and distributed flyers, praying for a miracle. One night, as Jonathan was preparing for another session of torment, he made a critical mistake. He left the basement door unlocked. Seizing the opportunity, Emily summoned every ounce of strength and courage she had left. She managed to free herself from the chains and stealthily made her way through the labyrinthine house. As she reached the front door, her heart pounding in her chest, Jonathan appeared, blocking her path. A desperate struggle ensued, but Emily's will to survive was stronger than his twisted desires. She fought with everything she had, finally overpowering him and escaping into the night. Emily's harrowing ordeal didn't end with her escape. She was found by a passing motorist and rushed to the hospital, where she shared her story with the authorities. The police raided Jonathan's house, uncovering the gruesome evidence of his crimes. The silent hunter was finally brought to justice. But the scars he left on the town of Ravenswood would never fully heal. In the years that followed, Emily became a symbol of resilience and hope. She shared her story with others, helping to raise awareness about the dangers lurking in the shadows. Ravenswood slowly began to heal, but the memory of the silent hunter served as a chilling reminder of the darkness that can hide behind even the most ordinary of facades.